Hello. Today we have one of her closest friends, Amoolya Selvaraj, performing. You might recognize her if you look down a little, but this short girl has taken the forensics world by storm.
In this past season, Amoolya has placed at several meets and qualified for the National CFL tournament in oratorical declamation for the second year in a row.
We admire her passion and dedication towards forensics and everything else she does.
We know she's going to rock the next 2 years of her high school career, and we can't wait to see what she will accomplish. Please enjoy Amoolya as she performs Stop Searching for Your Passion by Terri Trespicio.
Laid off my job in Martha Stewart, I was relieved. I loved the job, I really did. But the relationship was over and I didn't know how to end it. And that didn't work out with me. On the last day of the show, I got in the elevator at the 36th floor. And as it started to drop, I started to cry. Every floor took me further and further from what I had been. A magazine editor, a radio host, the person with a really cool job to talk about at parties. And honestly, I had no idea what I was going to do. I'm supposed to pursue this passion, right? Just bugged me, it always had. And that's because there's a dangerously limiting idea at the heart of everything we believe about success and life in general. And it's that you have one singular passion. And your job is to find it and to pursue it at the exclusion of all else. And if you do that, everything will fall into place. And if you don't, you'll fail. In her speech, Terri Trespicio urges us to stop limiting ourselves to one singular passion, but to remove that television and just start doing. Harder than it sounds, she can help. Terri is a branding specialist who helps dreamers create something unique and unheard of. Their experiences of jobs she knew nothing about. She shows us we don't follow passion. Passion follows us. Stop Searching for Your Passion by Terri Trespicio. The pressure starts really young and it just goes your whole life. But it's perhaps most pronounced when you're graduating for school, right? You have the whole world at your feet. What are you going to do now? Well, it's just intimidating. And this compelling, this really forceful cultural imperative to choose your passion. It's stressful to me. But it's not just me. The lady who sold me this dress, I told her what I needed the dress for and what I was going to be talking about, and she was like, oh my gosh, I need to hear this talk. My friends and I just graduated from school and we don't know what we're passionate about. We don't know what we're supposed to do. I'm leery of passion for a few reasons, but one of them is passion is not a plan. It's a feeling, and feelings change. You can be passionate about a person one day, at a job, and then not passionate the next. We know this, and yet we continue to use passion as a yardstick to judge everything by, instead of seeing passion for what it really is, a fire that ignites when you start rubbing sticks together. Anyway, I was such a mess when I was in my 20s. Such a mess. I was anxious and depressed and had no life to speak of. And I called my mother every night crying while I was turning away perfectly good full-time jobs. Why? Because I was afraid. I was sure that I'd pick the wrong one, get on the wrong train, headed to the wrong future. My mother begged me, please, take a job, any job. You're not gonna be stuck, you're stuck now. You don't first create your life and then live it. You create it by living it. She was right, she was always right. And so I took my first full-time job as a manager at a consulting firm, where I knew nothing about nothing, okay? Zero. But I knew I had a reason to get up every morning, get showered, leave the house, there were people there waiting for me when I got there, and at the end of every 2 weeks, I would receive a paycheck with my name on it. And that is as good as a reason as any to take a full-time job. Did I know I wanted to become an office administrator when I grew up? No. But this idea that everything we do has to fit in this passion vertical, it's unrealistic. you show me someone who washes windows for a living, and I will bet you $1 million. It's not because he has a passion for clean glass. One of my favorite columns is an article written by Dilbert creator Scott Adams, who says how he failed his way to success. Adams also says that in his life, success fueled passion more than passion fueled success. A friend of mine recently invited me to a jewelry party. I went and I had the best time. I was hanging out, trying out jewelry, and I was looking at the salesperson across the room, and she's having the best time. And I was like, that's a job. I could do that. And so I did. I signed up and I became a jewelry designs rep. Now, was I setting the world on fire right away? No. But I got better, and I started making more money and started getting really passionate about the job. Not just because of the money, but because what I realized is people really wanted this stuff, and they were happy to buy it. Eventually, I had to let my jewelry business go as my career path had shifted. But it planted an entrepreneurial seed in me I didn't know was there, and that bears fruit to this day. Now, as you know, an entire industry has sprung up around helping people find their passions, write books, coaching, webinars, whatever. And their heart is in the right place. But when you ask someone, what's your passion? It's triggering, it's upsetting. It's like, oh my God, I need to come up with a good answer for this now. My friend is in her mid-40s, and she's looking at what's life gonna be like now. And she's like, I don't know what I'm passionate about. She's legitimately concerned about this. She's ready to hire a team of people. But why are we worried about this? You know why? She thinks something's wrong with her. I thought something was wrong with me in the 7th grade when I would listen to their actors and their rock bands, and they would carve their bands onto the tables in the library. And I would never carve anything because I couldn't think of anything to carve. I mean, I like Bon Jovi as much as the next girl, but I wasn't willing to deface school property for it. I thought something was wrong with me. But that's the fear, isn't it? That when someone asks you at a party, on a date, at a job interview, what are you passionate about? That you're not going to have this compelling answer. And that must mean you're not interesting, ambitious, that you don't have a singular obsession or some scary talent you're hiding. And that must mean your life's not worth living. And that's just not true. Passion. It's not a sport, a job, or a hobby. It's the full force of your attention and your effort you give to whatever is directly in front of you. And if you are so busy looking for this passion, you can miss out on great opportunities that change your life. You could also miss out on great love, because that's what happens when we have this tunnel vision kind of final one. We all think we know the kind of person we are, or the kind of person we could love, but sometimes we're wrong, blissfully wrong. And sometimes we don't know what to do next, right? And that's okay. It's okay not to know. Because the most fulfilling relationships, the most fulfilling careers, are those that still have the power to surprise you. And as for the things you know you want to do, you know you want to start a business, you know you want to change careers, you know you want to write a book, great. But if you're sitting around waiting for passion to show up and take you there, you're going to be waiting a long time. So don't wait. To live a life full of meaning and value, you don't follow passion.